Welcome everybody to RMS Sales Training and Inspiration. I am your host. My name is Rich Norton. I am very happy and very blessed and glad to be with you. I love doing these shows. I spoke to somebody today that is a new representative starting out with our company, and he got on our website, which, by the way, the name of that website is rmssupercrew.com, and he looked at the RMS Sales Training and Inspiration link, and he's like, Rich, man, you've got over 100 shows on that. Is there really that much to talk about? And I'm like, yeah, and I'm thinking I could do at least probably 100 more, and then when I'm done with that, probably 100 more. I did say this. I said that some of this may be a little bit repetitious. A lot of the things that you will hear, you'll hear me say over and over again, and that's a good thing, because repetition is the mother of all skill. So whenever you hear things over and over again, eventually it gets embedded into your brain. And then you start thinking, okay, yes, I'm going to do this. I'm going to apply myself. I'm going to make it happen. So yes, I'm really happy, very thankful, and very, very gracious, and very excited about being part of the American Hearts Radio and all Mike does and Bruce, what they do. They do a fantastic job. As you've seen, we've got new music provided by my guitar teacher, Bill Ritchie. Did a great job on the intro and the outro, and he's going to be helping out on some of the commercials that we're doing. So we are bringing this to an even higher level. So very, very excited about it. Very excited about the future. So the things that we teach on these shows really applies not only to our business, but it applies to life in general. And I'm very, very excited to see that when these are posted on the social media, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Facebook, or whatever other outlets that there are, people are reaching out to me and saying, Rich, man, I really love what you're doing. I love not only your shows, but the posts that you're doing, the inspirational things that you're doing, the shows that you're doing, and the Monday morning motivations that you're doing. They're inspiring me, and I look forward to them every Monday, and I look forward to seeing all the posts that you put out there every single day. So I feel that I'm on a mission. My mission is to encourage people. God's given me the gift of encouragement. So rather than putting all this negative stuff out on Facebook that people are divisive and they're hearing all the political junk and they're responding back and forth, people are unfriending each other, they're getting mad at each other, they're yelling at each other. If you don't believe the way that I believe, then you're disqualified. I hate you, I hate you. It's like, oh my gosh, stop it, please stop it. So my goal is to be a light in the dark world. That's what I want to do. So whenever I get ready to post something, say something, this is a good rule just in life in general, post something, say something, write something, respond to somebody, I ask myself, is this necessary? Is it kind? Is it going to be uplifting? Is it something that is going to be encouraging to that other person? If it's not, then it's time for me to zip it and shut my mouth, because I don't want to be that person that makes other people feel down or discouraged in any way. Now, I'm not perfect. That doesn't mean that I don't do that. I'm sure there are things in life, and probably the ones that are closest to me, that are around me the most, will tell you, yes, there are times where I may have something come out of my mouth that's not very encouraging or uplifting. It might be disparaging. So thank God for grace. Thank God for mercy. Thank God for forgiveness. But I am on a path. I'm on a mission to try to make other people's days brighter, and I want to lift people up. And I hope that's your goal. I hope that's your mission as well, because there's too much negativity in this world. Be an encouragement. Be a light. Be positive. Make each other more encouraged. Make each other's day brighter, and lift one another up. That's a great mission to have. So that's what we do when you look at RMS sales training and inspiration. And inspiration, people need to be inspired. They need to be motivated. They need to be encouraged, especially when you get into the field of selling, because there are days where we have tough days. We go through rejection. We go through difficulties. Bad things happen once in a while. That's life in general. But when we get inspired, when we get motivated, when we get encouraged, that certainly does help us get to the next level. And then what we do on these shows as well, we do a lot of sales training, and that's what we're going to focus on today. We're going to get into some techniques that will help you to become more successful. And that's my background. I think about, so man, it's so amazing how fast the time has gone by. And I think about 18 years old I was, and I landed this position selling encyclopedias door to door. And my goodness, it seems like that was yesterday. And here it is 40 years later, 40 plus years later, and it's like I'm still in direct sales. I haven't figured it out yet. I've done well, no doubt about that, but I'm still learning all the time. And no matter, even myself, 40 plus years in direct sales, I'm still under construction. I'm still growing, and I'm still getting better and better and better. Because once we think that we have arrived and we have reached that level where we cannot improve any longer, that doesn't happen. Because we're always going to improve. We're always going to learn, and we're always going to be needing to learn new things all the time. That's how we improve. Growth is important. Improvement is important. That's how we're going to get to even higher levels. Now, it's not about money. Money's great, but you will eventually get to the point where you're not even thinking about that anymore. It's all about being the best that you possibly can be. So today we are going to focus on some tips, some techniques that are going to help you in sales, especially those of you working with retriever merchant solutions, to get to a higher level. Some sales techniques that will help you to be very, very successful. I know many of you that watch our shows come from different backgrounds of sales, whether it be real estate, whether it be investment sales, whether it be insurance sales, whether it's retail sales. It all involves meeting people, and it all involves setting goals and making it a mission to become super, super successful. So let's have a great day. Let's work on some fundamentals. Let me teach you some sales techniques that I have learned over the years that I know in my heart will help you. And that's my mission, that's my goal, to help you to become super successful in the business world and in the sales world. So let's take a short break. I will be right back. I am thrilled to be able to share this information with you today. Hello everybody, Rich Norton here from RMS Sales Training and Inspiration. I want to thank you all for tuning into our shows. Most of our shows are recorded here live at Hands and Feet Foundation, which is a ministry that I serve in, and I'm very, very blessed to serve into this ministry. My wife and I come out here. She's out here every Thursday or Tuesday. She brings music out to everybody, and I come out usually with her on Saturdays, and we have church with everybody that comes out here. And we've been very fortunate, very blessed to come out here and serve in this ministry. This is a ministry that's near and dear to our hearts. We have a passion and we have a heart for the lost. We have a passion and a heart for people that are down and out. And the majority of the people that come here are homeless, been through some very difficult times, whether it's bad choices on their own or whether it's just circumstances. We just love on them, and we help them get off the streets, and we help them get into rehab for some people that are wanting to get clean. We send them to different places. So there's just wonderful things that are happening here at Hands and Feet Foundation. So if you'd like to learn more, you can go to handsandfeetfoundation.org. You can look them up on Facebook, Hands and Feet Westside, or you can come out and visit 7478 103rd Street, Jacksonville, Florida. If you'd like to come out and visit, or you'd like to give a donation, or you just like to come out and help serve, come and join us. It'd be fantastic to see you. You'll see me in my shorts and my t-shirt and my guitar on just having a great day. So we'd love for you to come out here as well. Thank you. All right, I am right back with you. Very glad to be back. Very excited to be back with you. We have some great information that we're going to be sharing with you. If you have made the decision that you're going to be in sales, especially with Retriever Merchant Solutions, it's very important that you have the philosophy that you're going to make it happen. Don't have the attitude, I'm going to give it the old college try. Because when you think that way, what ends up happening, you will fail. Because as soon as something goes wrong, you'll look back and you'll say, well, at least I tried. At least I gave it the old college try. It just didn't work out for me. Because I promise you, you will go through difficulties, especially if you're brand new, especially if you're first starting out in the industry, whatever industry of selling, especially with us, with Retriever Merchant Solutions. Your first year will be your toughest. So make the decision. I'm doing this. I'm making the commitment, and I'm not looking back. I am marching forward 1,000%. Today's the beginning of the rest of my amazing life in the field of selling. So is that you? Raise your hand if that's you. All right, we're going to do this together. I'm going to teach you some things right now that have helped me over the years, and I want you to break out your notebook and I want you to write these things down. The first thing I want you to write down is to be unique. Very important. I've got it written down in my notes right there. Be different. Stand out from the crowd. Be different from everybody else. Very important when you're in the field of successful sales, or when you're in a lucrative business. For example, merchant service, that industry right there, merchant services, is a very lucrative industry. Why? Because we have residual income. We can make very good money up front, and we can build up, making money while we sleep. Now, when you talk about that type of income, people want to be part of that. So people jump on board, they jump into the game, and they become very competitive. So anything that is good is going to be competitive. Let me repeat that. You know, people say, well, Rich, this is a very competitive business. That's awesome. Anything that's lucrative, people want to be part of. If you said there's no competition, you don't see anybody else around, that should worry you. I want to see as many people as I possibly can, and then here's your philosophy. There really is no competition because we are completely different from everybody else. So here's what you have to remember. You can be like everybody else, or you can be the one. Okay? You can be like everybody else, or you can be the one. So when you talk to different businesses, when you walk into different merchants, it's important that you separate yourself from the typical merchant service representative. Because the typical merchant service representative walks in and they have their same old pitch. What is the pitch? The merchants can tell you what the pitch is because they've heard it so many times. Hi, my name is Joe, Merchant Service Representative. I'm here to save you money. Can I look at your statement? They know it, right? That's the typical pitch. When they hear it over the phone, they hear it when people walk in. So you have to separate yourself from that, and you have to be unique, all right? You have to develop a new brand. You have to redevelop yourself, redesign yourself, and be completely different from any other representative that walks into the business, especially for the very first time. You've heard my opener. I'll say it again. You walk in, hey, my name's Rich, I'm from RMS. I am the regional director locally, right here with RMS. I work in the payment processing division. I've been helping a bunch of businesses in the area. Are you the owner? Great, nice to meet you. Develop a rapport with the merchant. Get to know them a little bit more and help the merchant. We'll cover that. This is all part of this together, but that's step one. Is you can choose to be like everybody else, or you can choose to be the one. You have to be unique, and you have to set yourself apart from everybody else. Otherwise, you're going to fall right into the trap of just being the typical merchant service representative. And you don't want to do that. You want to rise above that. You want to make a commitment that I'm going to be the absolute best in this business. I am going to be a super success in this business. I am going to be amazing in this business. I'm going to be phenomenal in this business. Why? Because I deserve it, my family deserves it, and I want to bless other people doing it. So keep that in mind. Be unique. Be different from everybody else. Good stuff right there. Number two, get to know your prospects. Very important. Understand that every merchant that you walk into is a unique scenario. There really isn't the same exact scenarios for every single merchant. There's a lot of similarities. You'll be able to learn the presentation. You'll be able to get it down. That's why I teach that. I teach you the basics to be able to go into a merchant, be able to present the merchant, whether it's cash discount, whether it's traditional processing, teaching you a few different types of equipment that we have. You have all the tools that are going to help you to become successful. But what you want to understand is every merchant's unique, just like you want to be unique. Get to know your prospects. How do we do that? We ask questions. When you ask questions, learn the art of listening. I'm jumping ahead because that's part of this as well. We'll cover that. But learn the art of listening to your merchants. So ask them questions, and they could be simple questions right from the beginning when you first walk in and you talk to them. Get to know them. It doesn't always have to be a pitch all the time or a presentation, but you also have to have a fine line. You don't want to be a professional visitor walking into a business like, hey, I'm not, at the end of the day, it's like, I didn't sell anything, but I met a whole lot of nice friends. That's not our mission, to meet a whole lot of nice friends. Met a whole lot of nice people. I'm not writing anything. That's not our mission. We don't want to be at that level. We want to be able to say, I got some business today, and I met some great people. Because your number one goal while you're out there working each and every day is to write business. Am I correct? Yes, that's what we're there to do. At the same time, we are having fun. We're getting to know people. We're meeting people. We're hearing different stories. We're hearing life stories. And we could tell a whole lot of stories and probably write books about the different experiences that we have had being out there in the field. Tons and tons and tons of stories. It's amazing. It's incredible. We could write tons of books all about it. But get to know your prospects. Find a little bit about them. If they've got a dog, what kind of dog is that? Is that your guard dog? Have fun with the merchant. Where are you guys from originally? Are you from this area? How long have you been in business? While you're doing that, keep this in mind. While you're doing that, encourage the merchants a little bit. Talk to the merchants a little bit. Build them up. People like to talk about themselves. Please understand that. When you ask the questions, listen to the answers and let them talk about themselves. Now, sometimes people will go on and on and on, and you'll have to reel them back in and redirect them. We all run into merchants like that. It's almost like you have to tell, hey, focus, come on back here. And you'd say, yeah, that's great. Well, let me cover you. And you go right back to the reason that you're there. Very important, but I just wanted to stress that the importance of getting to know your prospects, because this is all a presentation of we get the people to like us, we get them to listen to us, and then we get them to trust us. So that was number 3, which I kind of covered a little bit. Not only do we get to know our prospects, it's very important that we listen to our prospects. We listen to the merchants. So when you're asking the questions, remember this. Don't just ask the questions to ask the questions. ask the questions to get a response to the questions. Why are we asking the questions? We want to find out where this merchant's at, what their needs are, and how we're going to be able to assist this merchant. So listen to their answers. So when you ask questions, very important that you listen to them. You're intently listening to them. You're giving them your attention. You have your undivided attention, and you're very, very concerned about them, and you're very sincere, and you have a genuine interest in what they're talking about. Because many times, representatives will give a presentation, they give the entire presentation, and then they ask a question, and then the merchant responds, and we're just sitting there not even listening to them at all. And they're like, almost would say, did you get what I said? Huh? Oh, yeah. What'd you say again? Repeat that? You just basically told them, I don't care what you're saying. And that helps in everyday life also, right? This will help in relationships. I'm preaching to everybody, including myself right now. When you're having a conversation, when you ask a question, somebody's speaking to you, listen to their responses. And especially when you're in sales, when you're listening to their responses, this is going to help you engage with them and help you to find out the solutions that they have to their problems right now. So talk to the merchants, get to know them, listen to them, and also build trust. Very important. I think about what we do. I was talking with a representative. I had breakfast with Ricardo Alfonso, who's a star in this business, and we were introduced to a new representative that possibly, and I think will be starting out with us. I believe he qualifies. But we were talking about building trust. And when you talk about building trust, how do you do that? You know, it just doesn't happen right away. It's a process. And that goes back to what I was talking right from the beginning. What are we trying to accomplish? The first thing, it's very important, we get the people to like us. Because if they like us, as time goes on, and this happens a lot, you can be with a prospect and they're like this in the beginning. Like, tell me what you got. What are you here for? And all of a sudden, because of the way you're engaging and the way that you're speaking to the merchant, all of a sudden, this drops down. The defense drops down. Now they're shaking their head. Now they like you. Now once they like you, they're going to start listening to you. And because they're listening to you, you're building trust with your merchant. So how do we do that? Again, getting them to like us. How do we do to get them to like us? You have to be sincere. You have to be genuine. You have to quit talking about yourself, and you start letting them talk about themselves. You have to show a genuine interest in the merchant, and you have to convey the message that you are there, honestly there, to help the merchant. And that's building trust. Because what we do is pretty incredible when you really get down to everything. We can walk into a business 30 minutes later, after meeting them for the very first time, just because we've built trust, they're giving us their whole life history. Their social, their tax ID number, their date of birth, all their what they do at their business, their bank account information. It takes a lot of trust from somebody to give that information away. They're not going to just do it right when you walk in. Hey, I'm here to get all your information, sign here and here. You have to build that. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer with others, but you have to build that trust from the moment that you walk into the door. And if you don't do it right throughout every single step, you are not going to write that merchant up. So really think about that. Am I building trust? Do the merchants really trust me? Am I conveying a message of building trust? And that all stems from so many different ways. The way that you carry yourself, the way that you dress, like when you're walking into a business. Now there's various different ways. Some people walk in and they're very dressed up, and I think a lot of that depends on the area. You know, like if you walk into a business, you're way out in the country and you got a three-piece suit on, you know, they may think you're from the IRS, right? You don't want to alarm them at all. But if some areas you could wear, some people say I wear a pair of jeans and a nice shirt. Some areas in Florida, people wear shorts and sandals and a nice shirt. That's fine. It works as long as you have confidence in what you're doing. For me, what I do, always have done this. I've never worn jeans in the field. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I always wear a pair of dress pants. Typically, I'll wear a polo shirt. When it's cold, I wear a shirt like this, a long sleeve shirt. So I want to make sure my appearance is good, I'm well groomed, I look good, I speak well. Like if I walk into a business and I'm using foul language or I'm not being eloquent as I'm speaking to the merchant, all this goes a long way. Here's another one, eye contact. If you're shifty-eyed and you're speaking to a merchant, you're not going to build trust. So all those things are very, very important. Smiling, good voice inflection, good eye contact. All right, we've got two more. I'm going to take a short break and we'll cover these, but I want you to really understand these techniques are very important. I'm going to say them out loud again. You want to be unique. Dare to be different. You don't want to be like everybody else. You don't want to be the typical salesperson, the typical merchant service representative. You want to get to know your prospects. How do you do that? Asking questions. You want to listen to your prospects. So that means when you ask the questions, you listen to them. And then I covered a lot on building trust. Very, very important that you're building trust. And you saw all the different ways that I talked about how to do that. If you have found yourself where a lot of merchants are not trusting you, write these things down. How can I get people to trust me more? Sincerity, genuine, belief in what I'm doing, confidence, all that goes a long way. The way I dress, my attitude, everything, all across the board will help the merchants have trust in you. So good stuff. Let's take a short break. I'll be right back and we'll finish up with two more. Hey everybody, you have Rich Norton here from Retriever Merchant Solutions. Do you consider yourself a winner? Do you consider yourself a champion? Do you consider yourself the best? Are you that type of person that likes to strive for the best? You like being number one, you're competitive, you like being in a positive environment where you can go as far as you want to go? Well, that's what we have at Retriever Merchant Solutions, an opportunity where you can be big as you want to be. You can grow as high as you want to go. You can go as far as you want to go. That's the opportunity that we have here with RMS. So if you feel that you're that type of person, you like meeting people, you're not afraid of rejection, you understand that the key to success is having a right attitude and going to work and never looking back and never giving up and making a commitment to do this 1,000%, that's going to give you success. So if I just described you, I want you to give me a call. Rich Norton, 904-434-4635. You're going to see the email right at the bottom of the screen. We will teach you this business. You may say, well, I've never done that type of business. We will teach you. We will train you. We will give you all the necessary tools on what it takes to become successful. And then we can celebrate your success and congratulate you for being a winner with RMS. I look forward to that. Give me a call. All right, welcome back everybody. Great show on sales techniques. And all these are very, very important. The sales techniques are super, super important. So I'm going to cover two more with you. And they all kind of tie in together. You know, when it comes down to sales, you know, when you have the philosophy, like when people ask, what do you do for work? And if you can incorporate, when you say, well, I'm in sales, but if you can incorporate, and if they said to you, well, describe what you do. And if you can immediately say, I help merchants do this, or whatever sales that you're in, I help merchants solve problems. If you're in the mortgage business, I help merchants get better loans or get better, whatever it may be. And you focus on that word right there. Focus on helping. Not selling, not overselling, not making commission. All that's great, but if you do it right, if you focus on helping your prospects, if you focus on helping your merchants, I guarantee you're going to have consistent, long-term success. Because if you can convey that to a merchant, they can read that. If you walk into a business and you have dollar signs in your eyes, for example, you're saying, I need money, I got to make a sale, man, I'm desperate. They can read that. Guarantee you, they can read that. Now you might say, Rich, man, I can't close anybody, I'm trying, nothing's working. Probably because you're trying too hard. You're thinking more about yourself than you are the merchants. This goes back in relationships too. You're thinking more about yourself rather than the other person. Guilty? We're all guilty of that. So a lot of this that we talk about applies to everyday living. So if you can convey that and you can say that and you can do that every single day and you can say, I'm helping merchants. As you're driving out to the area and you say, who am I going to help today? Who is going to be the lucky merchant that I get to help today? Focus on that each and every day and you're going to have consistent success because you're helping and you're not selling. The last one is follow up with your prospects with an action plan. In other words, let them know what's going to happen. You know, like when I leave, I say a follow-up right when you leave the merchant. You know, we want to lock them down. You know, sometimes we talk about that. You want to make sure that they understand everything. So before I leave the merchant, I get them excited about what's to come. You know, so Mr. Merchant, what a wonderful pleasure meeting you. I'm very glad I was able to help you. This is what's going to happen. So now you're explaining the action plan and let them know about that. Today is Monday. You're going to get the equipment on Wednesday or Thursday, whatever the day may be. Once you receive it, if you're installing the equipment yourself, let them know. You get to see my face again. This isn't a one-time call. You know, you're going to see me again. I'm going to come in. I'm personally going to set it up. I'm going to show you how to use it. Not only that, we are going to assist you in getting rid of your current processor. So we're going to handle the whole program. And because we did a rental or a lease, whatever you did on the equipment, let them know. This is part of the action plan. Let them know. Once everything's set up, my office is going to make a courtesy call. They're going to check up on me, make sure I did a good job, and they will review that the only monthly equipment program is such and such a month for whatever the amount, rental or lease, whatever you did. So they're going to be expecting that. Leave behind the merchant assurance policy. Anybody comes in, says they have a better program, tell them to call me. If it's lower, we pay you $100. We appreciate referrals. Here's our referral form right here. Send them my way. Anybody that you refer us to, once they're processing, you get a $100 gift card. Isn't that fantastic? Great. Awesome. Send them an email after that. Let them know what's going to transpire. That's what I'm talking about when I'm following up with an action plan. Letting them know what's going to happen going forward. So these are some great sales techniques that are going to help you get to a higher level. Quit being a salesperson thinking about just commission only. Start going out and having relationships. Help people, get to know people, ask questions. Do this the right way, and you will have consistent success. I'm here to help you. I hope this does help you. I know it does if you apply it. Go to work each and every day. Make it happen. When you wake up in the morning, have an attitude of gratitude because it's a gift from God. And what you do with that day is going to be your gift back to God. Make it an awesome one. I'll see you next time on RMS Sales Training and Inspiration.